All right. What's going on, guys? What is going on? Let's get this. Look at my chats up. I don't know if I'm saying that Raren? I feel like I say that wrong every time. What's going on? Cade. Kathy. What are you thinking for Charlotte? Severe weather. I'm not thinking any more snow. Not in the next few weeks, but we might have more snow in winter around Charlotte. We'll see. We'll talk about it. Jamie, what's going on? Leanne. Major track shift. Yep. What's going on, everyone? Sorry I got on late. It's been a long day for me. I'm excited to get into the weekend, get back to normal for a little bit. The weekend is my normal, okay? The weekday is just my try hard. You know what I mean? I want every day to be like the weekend. What's going on, Indiana? Hamilton? I like having these on because I can hear if I'm screaming into the mic, but keep them off for a little bit longer. Washington D.C. good for a while. All right, yeah, we're gonna get started in a second. I just started. God, I'm freaking blind. I just started stream, so I'm gonna go over the updates. I'm gonna let the people get in here. We're gonna go over the updates, and I'm gonna start answering questions. I spent early February, maybe Clay. Look, I said I wasn't gonna answer. Now I'm answering. Okay, I'll answer some questions while I'm waiting for more people to get in the stream. Is Northern VA getting some snow? Small chance you could get some to end January. I think we may need to wait a little bit longer. Any snow for Greensboro, North Carolina in the near future? Near future, no. I don't think you're done for winter, though. I think you have another chance. So another severe storm for Alabama? Potentially. What's going on, Mesomat? Mesomat has entered chat. All right, let's get Mesomat to 100K followers. MESOMATT. Everyone go follow him. What's going on, Mesomat? What's going on, Matt? I'm letting some people get in the stream, and we're going to get started here. All right, we had 2 days off in Raleigh. Nice. Are you concerned about the January 29th severe threat? A little bit. We'll talk about it. What's going on, Brittany? Praying on an Eagles loss Sunday. Listen, I live in Philadelphia, so. Me too. I hate the Eagles. I'm a Giants fan. I hope they lose. All my coworkers hate me because I literally work in Philadelphia. But you know what? Die, Eagles, die. You know what I mean? Oh, my God. But, I mean, are we expecting the Commanders to beat the Eagles? I mean, they haven't exactly had the hardest route. I know. Everyone around me loves the Eagles. I'm in Philly. It's a tough life for me. Everyone around me is Eagles fans. Guys, we're getting started right now. Okay. Matt, are you streaming again tonight? If you're in here before I get started. Matt, I appreciate it. But Matt, are you streaming? Are you streaming tonight? I'm not sure if you're going to get on after me. I got on super late, so I got to get going here. But maybe I should just give him a ring. Okay, we're literally about to get started, guys. I swear to God, I know I've said that 18 times, but we're gonna. Pacific Northwest snow, yeah, looks to really start cranking up here in February. It does. Appreciate the follows and the subs, guys. Oh, Mezzo, where'd you go? Okay, let me ask Matt this real quick. We've literally only been streaming for a couple of minutes, so I've been streaming for 5 minutes, but we're gonna start now. Deborah, I appreciate it. Hey, Matt, don't say anything dumb. You're on speaker. Are you streaming tonight?
I'm getting ready to get on now. I'm in the group meeting with the group. I'm gonna have half the mods go to you and half the mods go to me.
Sweet. So guys, yeah, Mesomat will be on tonight too. We'll both be streaming if you want to hop in and out. He's got a different way of presenting information than I do, but it's very interesting. All right, Matt, I'll talk to you a little bit later.
Sounds good, bud.
See ya. Yeah, he knows what he's talking about. All right, Connor, we have seen enough snow in Grand Rapids. When can I golf outside again? Ryan, I have bad news for you. We have a lot of different clippers that want to move through the Midwest region here. Is my audio good on both sides, guys? Go blue. That's right, Nico. So you have been right all winter. So many wins. I followed you here from TikTok. I appreciate that. Babushka, I've been wrong a few times, but this is forecasting. It is impossible to be right all the time. I will try to be right as much as I can, but it is inevitable. Sometimes I'll be wrong. But again, that's why when I explain outcomes to you guys, I always make sure to tell you what I think the odds are. I'll never tell you this is 100% going to happen unless, I don't know, maybe I had too much to drink and I'm just messing with you. But I want you guys to understand the odds of the outcomes. Nothing's for sure. Nothing's ever certain. Our atmosphere is way too variable, but we have a lot of different tools at our disposal to really, really get in here and give you a lot better information than your weather app does. I can tell you that. Okay, starting up here in the Midwest, here's these clipper systems. 1 clipper, 2 clipper, 3 clipper. I do think you're going to get not monumental amounts of snow up there in Grand Rapids, but we can see what our GFS wants to do. Just snow showers continuously moving forward. I mean, I doubt you can really golf too much up there in Michigan anyways over winter, but here's what's interesting. And I know this is far out. I know this is past 250 hours out. We never really look at this, but this is kind of what I'm expecting. This northern plain snow. My video just uploaded. I was late today. Look at where the snow wants to move in February. Do you guys remember me talking about all January? People kept asking about Iowa, Minnesota, the Northern Plains, and I kept saying February looks to be good for the Northern Plains. And it's going to be good for the Pacific Northwest, I think, as well. Look at all this snow down here because of our shift. Now, let me show you something. Let's look at our ensemble. Let's go to surface, winter. Let's just look 10 days out. Where do our ensembles think our snow's going to be moving to? Look at it. This is what I've been talking about all January. I think February is going to be good to the Northern Plains. I think it's going to be good to portions of the Midwest. It's going to be good to the Pacific Northwest. Okay. I think for a while we're going to struggle out here. I think we're actually going to struggle coastally too. You're seeing this snow from clipper systems, but I think we're going to really struggle out here, at least to start February off. To end February may be a completely different story. I think the end of February, March, we could see late winter storms out here. Again, maybe even in the South. I don't even want to get too much into that. That's very difficult that late, but it happens. It happens. Our biggest winter storms, like I've said, in history out here have been in February and March. So, and I think our setup is getting ready for that. But again, you guys up here who feel forgotten about snow, our jet stream looks to shift in a way where I think this is going to be good, where I think you guys up in Iowa and Minnesota can stop complaining. I'm just kidding. You're not complaining. I know why you're complaining. Destin and Pensacola have more snow than this year than Minneapolis. So it's okay. You guys are getting out. How embarrassing. Chat. How embarrassing. You guys are getting out snowed by Florida. How embarrassing. If you have any questions on how to drive in snow, how to get snow off your car, how to operate around snow, just ring up any of your friends in Florida since they have a lot more experience, in the short term with snowfall, especially you guys in the Northern Plains. If you're confused on how to operate around snow, just call your folks down in Florida and they'll update you on kind of the processes. So I know you guys don't really see it much. So anyways, yep, that's how it looks. What's going on, Ryan? I'm gonna start taking questions in just a second. Middle Tennessee, what you think? Again, I think we're gonna slow down a little bit out in the south and out in the east for a little bit, but I don't think our winter's not done out east, guys. Remember, we're halfway through winter. We have half of winter to go. January 20th is like the middle point of winter. That was 3 days ago. We're literally only halfway there. We're literally only halfway there. Plenty of time, especially for you people out in the south and the east and everyone out here who's like, man, we're done. February and March, especially to end February and March, we can see some big activity out here. So I would not worry if, we'll see how this progresses. Are the chances for snow in Dallas still a thing? People have been talking about that. Like people asked yesterday. I don't know if it was you. I've never even seen that. I don't know what local meteorologist. I don't know what weather app. What started telling people snow in Dallas is coming here. I haven't seen that. Now I will say this. I will say this. The GFS and Euro bring heavy snowfall down here into New Mexico and northern Texas. You get a little pattern, you get a little troughing shift, and maybe that gets into Dallas. But why I think that's not going to happen is this isn't really even a trough. This is what we call a bowling ball trough. You get a significant low pressure to break off of your main troughing event, and it's such a significant low pressure, it starts to pull down cold air from the stratosphere, basically. It pokes a hole in the atmosphere, starts to pull down cold air, and it's separated from any main troughing event. That type of, like a bowling ball trough, where you have all of this warm air around Dallas, even if it moved through, I think you'd have an ice event. I don't see Dallas. I don't see that happening anytime soon. Hold up, let me switch this for you guys. So, really quickly, NOAA February, just for anyone who didn't see it. This is kind of what NOAA's thinking. Well, this is the wrong one here. Let me get you a better one. This is kind of NOAA's thought process, or the CPC Climate Prediction Center's thought process for winter, or for February. A lot of precipitation through this region. I think this actually is going to be shifted a little bit out west. I think you're going to be like this. And obviously, what do they think for temperatures through February? They think this. This is just because it says that the Climate Prediction Center expects this to be, just because it says the Climate Prediction Center says they expect it to be warmer through this region in February, doesn't mean it's going to be hot all of February. You could have very, very cold air sink in here for a week in February, but if the average of the whole month is slightly warmer, then this is what they'll show. So it's the average of the whole month. You're not going to be like scorching hot out here all of February, It's expected to be slightly above average. I expect the end of February, but we'll see. To get real cold out here, but we'll see. I'm still not 100% on that. But yeah, okay, right. And last thing before I start getting into chat, this is what we're watching here. As we get into the 29th, and again, in my video I uploaded, we are expecting early next week some rainfall and snow into Southern California. That is going to be nice for the fires, guys. So there's model consensus on that too. Wide, very good model consensus. But this is the severe weather outbreak we're watching right here. As we push into the end of next week, so about a week out, look at this event here. Now, why is this happening? Some severe thunderstorms, potentially some strong winds. Well, the same system that's bringing all that snow down to the south or the southwest is going, there it is. There's what we call a bowling ball trough. Can you see why now? See that? It's like a bowling ball. And that's going to begin to move up into the northeast. Now, behind it, we're going to get some very significant southwesterly winds pushing up across the southeast. What does this do? This is going to pull in some warm air from the Gulf and some very moist air from the Gulf. I know we all love the word moist. This is going to cause a lot of instability. We're going to see probably some decent winds and the potential for a severe weather outbreak with this event. So you can see it here. You can see all this vorticity. This is just unstable air right here. So this is going to be, when you have warm air at the surface and cold air aloft, you get some very unstable air. When you have warm air aloft and cold air at the surface, your air is stable. This would be warm air at the surface, cold air aloft. And this would potentially be a severe weather event, as we push into late next week into the weekend. So we're watching this. There is some model consensus on that, which is again, the euro. If we go back to the euro, what does the euro think? You can see the beginning of the event unfolding right here. Here's our bowling ball trough, and you can see the winds beginning to crank into here, and the Euro is going to want to pull this up as well, potentially throwing some severe weather into the southeast. All right, let's get to chat. Let's get to chat. All right. Matt, Deborah, freak to you. Christina, I appreciate you guys. The chance for will it snow in Dallas Fort Worth mid-February? That's way too. I can't predict 3 weeks out. No one can. I wish I could. I would tell you. Now Connor asked for snow, not thunderstorms. I know. I'm sorry, Brittany. What day is the possible severe weather outbreak? Like I said, it's kind of to end January. It would be like into late next week or into next weekend. So we're 7 to 9 days out, basically. But there's some model consensus on it, so we're watching it. Seattle is expected to, you can see what happens here. This would be snow actually on the ground in Seattle because of this cold air. This is a little bit far out. This is to start February, but not impossible. We're watching that for you guys who actually want to get snow and low elevation up there in Washington. South Carolina got 1 snowstorm 2 days ago, and I already want more. I know, Nico. Florida is like, people in Louisiana, southern Louisiana, in my stream yesterday were like, when's our next snowstorm? And I was like, you just got snow for the first time in southern Louisiana in 15 years, and you think another one's right behind it? Not impossible to get another one this year, but the odds are pretty low. Not impossible, though. What day is it possible for that? Yep, answer that. I'm in Northwest Georgia. Should I keep a lookout for severe weather? Potentially, yeah. It's far enough out where no one needs to, panic. We're not in forecasting range yet. There's model consensus. It's an interesting setup, so we're watching it. Too far out. No one needs to worry quite yet. Just something to keep our eye on. When there's model consensus, you start to kind of, look at the possibilities. Something's going to happen, but how it sets up is going to change. So, all right, let's see. I know we are a week out. 1 second. I know we are a week out, but how much ice and snow are you predicting for St. Louis? Yeah, too far. Too far. You guys might not get any snow or any ice. You guys might literally see just rain. So that's why I wouldn't tell you. I wouldn't predict snowfall or ice totals because you might not even get them at this point. Need to wait a couple more days. Destiny and Philly snow. I appreciate you guys. How's South Dakota looking for snowstorms? Pretty good. Pretty good pushing into February. Any snow in Baltimore soon? Maybe a clipper system moves through to end January, but I think we're going to need to wait a little bit. Is there any snow coming to Long Island? Again, maybe one of these clippers put some snow in there, but I think we're going to have to wait a little bit. We're warming up, drying up a little bit out there. Out in the east. All right, let's see here. TikTok. Greensville, South Carolina. Yeah, I mean, guys, if you're expecting a big snowstorm to move through the south or east anytime soon, other than like New England, keep hoping, I guess. We need a little bit of time. I've been telling you about this pattern shift for a month for anyone who's been in here. We've had a lot of snow out east. I know some of you haven't, but the majority of people out east have seen some snow and well below average temperatures through a lot of December and January. It's going to shift a little bit west. I know some of you still were left without much, but that's how it works sometimes. I still think the Mid-Atlantic's due for a pretty big winter storm, so a bigger one than we've seen this year. How's Eugene, Oregon looking? Been sunny and cold all January, making me scared for February, March. Yeah, again, we're expecting snowfall to greatly increase. You can see right here, to greatly increase out in the Pacific Northwest in February. I think it's going to be an active February for you guys. I do. New Jersey, Nor'easter next week? Probably not, T-Dub. Probably not. I don't think so. Any bad weather coming to Ohio soon? You guys could get in on some of this action. You're in that area that CPC thinks could get above average snowfall. I mean, look at this. Look at what the GFS wants to do here. This would be so much snow from the northern plains and Midwest. A little far out there. We're not going to take it too seriously. Ohio may depending on where you are in Ohio, like south and eastern Ohio, may end up on the ice and mixing side of a lot of these February winter storms. It's going to be close, but we'll see. Again, just based on how our jet stream wants to set up. What up, Barracks? What up, chat? Both the GFS and CFS V2 want high supercell composite in northeastern Texas, February 5th to 6th. Yeah, but that's February 5th to 6th. So, I mean, how many hours out are we talking? 300 plus? I don't know if we're going to have that look literally when we get our update tonight. Indiana? So, we'll see. I especially don't really care what the CFS says. GFS I'll take somewhat seriously. I think it's not going to snow here in DC anymore. All right. That's a thought. Philly, I appreciate you. Let me move back up here real quick. DC has gotten some okay snow. We'll see. I think you guys might get a little bit more snow this year. Snow for Nebraska. February looks to be good for you guys. Potentially, the first couple weeks of February, I think you guys could get some good snow into Nebraska. Our outlook's looking positive for that region. It is. Potentially Kansas as well, yeah. Potentially Kansas as well. Or New York City see a blizzard. I have a feeling we're going to get a nor'easter style event this winter. I'd say it's a gut feeling. This is not a data driven feeling. We've seen a lot. We've seen a bunch of chances already this winter. Our polar jets, I think we're going to be in a positive AO for quite a while, and I think that's going to flip again end of February, March. And if it does slow down end of February, March, which is kind of what's being projected, that would be a great setup for a nor'easter style event to occur. So the timing of our AO right now going positive and holding positive gives me a kind of a feeling we could see a decent nor'easter late in February, early into March. That's it kind of data-driven opinion, but it's kind of also just a gut feeling. So it's not, the teleconnections kind of are making me feel that way. Do you think Northwest Arkansas will see snow next week? I don't think so, but it's possible. You guys are kind of going to be on the borderline of where some of these winter storms want to go. You can see right here. The European likes a lot of the snow just to the north and west of Arkansas, and so does the GFS. Only reason I mentioned it was because it was two different models. Yeah. I mean, I agree, Indiana. I agree. Once you start seeing consensus, even on just two models, you start to kind of look at it. I agree, because they're taking this data in the same way. So. Yeah, we'll watch that time frame. You're right. Central New Jersey outlook. I think we're going to be dealing with a little bit more rain and a tiny bit of a warm up to start February. We're going to still be a little bit cold here for a while, for about another week. But I think February we're going to get a little bit more of a warm up, a little bit more rain instead of snow. That's probably going to change as we push through February, though. Get into late February, in my opinion. Well, Northwest Ohio. Going to see snow anytime soon. You guys, again, like I was talking about earlier, Northwest Ohio looks to be a decent target for snow in February. CPC thinks it as well. Above average precipitation in the northwestern Ohio. Does it fall as rain? Does it fall as snow? It depends on what side of the jet stream you're on. That's going to be tough. I lost faith in getting snow here. Yali. It just likes to go around us. That's how it be sometimes. I know. I think Charlotte's going to have to worry about severe weather for a few weeks, because you're going to be on the southeastern side of this jet stream, I think, and some of these troughing events, some of these low pressure systems, and I think you're going to be worrying more about severe weather in the next few weeks than snow. Although I don't think your chances. I still think you'll have a chance for snow another time this winter, but not in the next couple weeks, next few weeks. We're only halfway through winter though, so you got plenty of time. What's up for Bama? A warm up and a severe weather watch. That's what I think. Severe weather watch, not warning, because we're not close enough. But there's our atmosphere setting up a little bit interesting, you know. So, what about snow in Louisiana in February? Not looking great. Not looking great. What we've had for a lot of January is troughing like this. This is going to be your colder air. This is going to be your hotter air. That's what gave us the ability to get moisture and cold air in at the same time. When what we're expecting to go into is kind of a negative PNA, which is typically more of, you know, a jet stream that wants to set up like this, where you're on the hot side, and you start getting thunderstorms, and your chances for snow fall off a cliff for a little bit. No, that's not what you want to hear, but I'm going to tell you the truth. I appreciate the follows, guys. I appreciate the follows. Thank you, and the subs on YouTube. 72 people followed. Thank you, guys. 72 new followers. Any more snow? Oh, by the way, I created stickers on TikTok, but I still don't know how they work. Does anyone have access to those? Someone with a brain, help me. Santiago and Yali, I appreciate you guys. I tried to set it up. I'm going to have to get some more help. I need some hand holding on TikTok. Will it snow in Texas in February? Probably. It's a long month. The beginning of February, you have a chance for some snow up in northern Texas. So if you're talking about, remember, it's a big state. Do I expect snow down here in southern Texas or central Texas in February? I'd be leaning towards no, but again, it's a long month. That's an outlook. Not a forecast. So I heard there's going to be another polar plunge sometime after February 6th. You think so? Let's take a look. Let's take a look at our GFS. Let's take a look at our GFS ensemble, Arctic Oscillation. I'm looking all the way to the 8th. All the way to the 8th of... all the way to the 8th in our GFS ensemble of February, and I see no polar plunge. Let's go into our EPO. This is maybe a little bit of cold air. With a neutral to positive Arctic oscillation, I don't think that'd be a polar plunge. Let's go into our Euro Arctic oscillation. I would want to see this pretty negative, our Arctic oscillation, if we're going to get a real polar plunge. What's our EPO looking like here? Yeah, and this is our Euro ensemble. Our Euro ensemble is much better with troughing. If our Euro ensemble is looking like this, I wouldn't expect that. Look at our PNA. Look at our PNA too in our Euro ensemble. This is warm. This is warm air out east, guys. This is all the way up to the 8th of February. So, I don't know what people are they looking at, like our experimental model, CFS, teleconnections. Let's see. Are they looking at our Canadian model, maybe? Canadian. Oh, yeah, look at that. That's what they're looking at. That's what they're looking at. That's what they're looking at. They're looking at the Canadian ensemble. Look what happens on the 7th. Negative AO. Polar plunge. So someone looked at the worst model for troughing, especially long range, and saw that and said, "Ooh, we could have a polar plunge." Could you? Yeah, maybe 10% chance. I don't know. It's not impossible. It's not impossible, but I wouldn't trust Canadians. The last model I trust on this. Look at our American and look at our Euro. And even when we go into our PNA, but this doesn't make any sense anyways. Your Canadian wants to go into a positive PA when we go into a negative AO, so that would be cold air out west anyways. Well, it would be cold air in this. Actually, this would probably be cold air in the central U.S., northern plains. I don't know. I don't see it. Not impossible though. Not impossible because it's far enough out. Like I always say, it's not in forecastable range. But I like our European ensemble when it comes to teleconnection outlook. Can you do Washington State, please? Yeah, Washington. Yeah, Washington State. You should expect colder air and more snow in February. Simply put, I could break it down a lot more. It's not going to matter. Here's your CPC January 29th to February 2nd. You can see the colder air beginning to move into Washington State. And then as we push farther into February, here we go. There's a much more weak La Nina type of look. Much colder air up there. Let's look into our precipitation to start off February. Above average precipitation. And why is this happening? Again, this is a negative PNA type of look where you could get some colder air out here. Look at this precipitation as we move farther into February. I mean, more cold air, more increased moisture up there, at least through the first probably 2 weeks of February. Washington's probably going to see a colder look, a more wintry look in February than you guys have seen recently. Yes. I say this with confidence. By the way, I hope everyone's having a good Friday, Junior. Happy Thursday, almost Friday to everyone. Have you seen what the GFS is saying in New Mexico for snowfall? I have, FVJ, and it's not actually, I don't think it's crazy. There's some agreement on the Euro, and there's some agreement on really across all the models. I like the Euro and the GFS, but really across all the models, there's some agreement. We'll look at the Canadian, even though I'm not a big fan. Look at the Canadian. The Canadian likes it. We can look at the Euro. The Euro likes it. You can see, let's go back. Let's go into our 18Z. Look at the Euro. The Euro likes it. We can look at obviously the GFS. The GFS is probably being the most bullish with it. Obviously this would be just this would just be crazy. 2-3 inches an hour snowfall if that were to actually come true. And then we'll take a look at our CFS. Why not? What does the CFS think? The CFS thinks the same thing. Here it is. Heavy snow in New Mexico. So, yeah, it's actually, the GFS may be overdoing it, but I don't know if it's overdoing it by a ton, actually. We'll see. We'll see. The Euro wants it a little bit farther north, and I think it might be right. But there's some model consensus on that heavy snow in New Mexico. What is that? Like about a week out? I got to go look again. I've talked about Alabama predictions, Madison. You guys are going to warm up, and your severe weather chances are going to increase as we push into February. You guys are not expected to see, you're expected to see a much warmer February than it was in January. You're expected to see your severe weather potential go up. It's not supposed to be a very wintry February in Alabama, at least through the first couple weeks. We're getting a shift in the jet stream. The cold air wants to sink into the west to start off February, and it's been sinking into the east all winter, or at least through January. So, again, though, I don't think the east is done or the southeast is done with winter yet. I think when we pushing into the end of February, I don't want to talk about too far out and have you guys hold it against me because it's just an outlook. But as we get into the end of February, start March, I think we might get some decent cold air returning out to the south and to the east. Any more snow in Houston's future? That's impossible to tell because there's none in forecastable range. Yeah, I wish I had a good answer for you there. Currently, there's no signals for more snow in the kind of outlook forecast to short outlook range, but it doesn't mean you're not going to get more snow this winter. We're only halfway through it, you know. If there was something there on the horizon that I even thought was possible, I would talk about it. There's just nothing right now that would tell me that Houston is going to get more snow. But there may be in a week. It's still early. Flying out of O'Hare on February 1st. How are we looking? It's a little far out. I think we have a little bit of model consensus around that time range. This is kind of when our bowling ball trough wants to eject up into the northeast. So I would say to end January, to start February, the Midwest is going to see some activity. So I don't expect it to be, this is not that time frame isn't in forecasting range. So I don't know, but there's an agreeing signal through all our models that to end January and to start February, we're going to have some winter storms, severe weather pushing up through the Midwest, depending on where you are. And I think it would be more winter-like in Chicago. So you probably want to pay attention as we get closer to that. in the next few days because we'll be able to get in the forecasting range and see what's really going to happen. These models agreeing, but 60 inches would be crazy. Oh, does the GFS say that? But that's probably a little much. Oh, yeah. That's probably a little much. Yeah, 57. What do you guys think? Let's see here. Let's go continental, regional. What do you guys think about this? You guys think New Mexico's getting 60 inches of snow, 61 inches of snow? Maybe, right? Maybe. Yeah, that's probably a little bit much. What does our Canadian think about that time frame? Portions getting up to 40. You see the Canadian wanted to bring snow down close to Dallas. The Canadian model's crazy. Even the GFS that's going crazy. Even the GFS that's going wild on this doesn't want it. That snow that far to the south. Not impossible. Just not very probable. You know what I mean? How about Wisconsin? Wisconsin's in a great spot if you're a snow lover for February. We're watching multiple winter storms that look like they want to take place up through the northern plains and into the western, Midwest, really just the Midwest in general, central plains. Looks to be. I've been talking about this. The CPC thinks this entire region here is going to see above average precipitation in February. And again, a lot of stuff that falls in February up here is snow because it's cold enough. It also looks good for the northern plains. It also looks good for the Pacific Northwest. So, and again, to start off February, we could see a lot of snow down here. Where's the one place that it looks like we're going to struggle, at least to kick off February? Is out here. This looks to be our struggle area. This looks to be like our no snow zone to start off February. I wouldn't include inland New England. I would really say, because I think inland New England's going to be okay, I would really say this region right here, I think is going to be on the struggle bus for a little bit to start February. That those regions could be dealing with more of a severe weather type look. I see you spamming Santiago. I talked about Seattle 3 or 4 times already, but I'll talk about it again. I usually don't. I usually will not answer anyone if they're spamming, actually, so I'm not going to answer that. I can't promote spamming. Listen, Seattle looks to be colder and snowier in February. But yeah, I'm not going to answer. I shouldn't answer questions if people are spamming. The temp models show, I mean, you can ask a question more than once, obviously. There's a lot of people in chat. So, like, I don't mind people asking a question multiple times, but not, like, spamming it, like, not asking it, like, 10 times in 10 seconds. You know what I mean? Obviously, like, people, it's fine. The temp models show widespread 65 to 75 degree temperatures in Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, and Alabama. Yep. On February 4th. Mm-hmm. Warm up. Only one bad thing about snow in Tennessee in late February is the sun angle. That will not allow much snow. Well, Mark Aldridge, yes, the sun angle, yeah, you get more sunlight and it goes up far, it gets more vertical above your head. But that's what gives you bigger snowstorms in February and March, because you have that same sun angle over the Gulf, heating up the Gulf and just throwing moisture up into the air that wants to be pushed up into the southeast with those southwesterly winds, depending on a higher jet stream setup. So that's why we have a lot of the biggest snowstorms in history out east, including through Tennessee, have occurred in February and March, because there's a lot more moisture available. And I promise you, if you get a major snowstorm, like a foot of snow, the sun angle is not going to matter. If you get one of those big, that's why that's why we see some of our biggest snowstorms to end winter. You really get this heating back up down here. You get a high pressure typically building up back in the Arctic, and you can get a little bit more of a you can get some significant sometimes polar jet slowdowns. You can have a lot more moisture available down here as we push closer into spring. And if you get those to link up, that's when you see kind of your biggest nor'easters, your biggest major snowstorms that we've seen in history. So it's more sporadic, that's for sure. January to start February, is typically your best time to see the most frequent snowfall. But when it comes to the biggest snowstorms, pushing into mid to late February and into March is typically where you can see your biggest snowstorms. They're just they're going to be a little bit more sporadic, obviously. If I build a ladder, blow the snow clouds with my mouth, will the snow move down to the south? Yeah, you'd have to blow hard enough, chicken. Yeah, that's actually, that makes sense scientifically, yeah. Does Central Ohio have any signals for snow in the upcoming week or two? It does. It does. I mean, here's our Euro 12Z that wants to bring, some potential snow. This would just kind of be a clipper across. Our Euro and our GFS as we push into February wants to put like multiple big snowstorms across the northern plains like this, but they also in the next couple weeks, obviously we're seeing this system. We'll see if this moves up like this or if this wants to shift out to the west. There's plenty of time. This is over 150 hours out, so, and you can see this system behind it too. This would potentially be snow for Central Ohio depending on how this trough amplifies and how it moves through. So Ohio's not in a terrible spot for February. Your chances aren't terrible for a good snow in February. To kick off February at least. When I'm talking about February and I'm talking like this, I'm really talking about the first half of February. I'm not going to tell you guys what's going to happen over a month from now. As we get into the last week of February, I've told you what I think, in my opinion, that's not completely data-driven is going to happen. I think that's when we'll have another kind of polar vortex slow down, and I think we're gonna see something significant out east winter-wise. But I'm a lot more confident here in the first half of February. Georgia's going to warm up. Georgia's going to warm up. You're going to see a lot more rain, potential thunderstorm, severe weather as we enter February. But I don't think your winter's over quite yet. Remember, we're only halfway through. February start off March is still very cold for us. Flooding in Georgia next week? Yeah, we got to watch. We got to watch how this system sets up, guys. We got to watch how this system right here sets up. This would be bad. You can see, let's compare models. Let's compare models real quick. This is what's scary, the model consensus we have on this, guys. This is when it gets scary. Watch this. Here's our Euro. Not scare anyone. Here's our Canadian. Here. Let's look at our American, Euro. American, Euro. This is far out. This is over 200 hours out. Why do we have this level of consensus, right? This could be significant. This could be a severe weather outbreak. This could be some significant windstorms moving through here. Some ice up north. This is an event we're watching right now unfold that could be very significant. This would be literally to end January and to start February. Potentially between the 31st of January and the 2nd of February type of time frame. I appreciate the follows, guys. Appreciate the follows. Appreciate the subs. Thank you, guys. So, what's predicted for Texas to start February? Northern Texas could have a stay. North and western Texas could cool down a little bit to start February, but overall, Texas is probably going to be a little bit warmer as we move through the first couple weeks of February. Yeah, Pennsylvania, especially central to eastern Pennsylvania, again, I'd expect warmer conditions to kick off the first couple weeks of February. Not as wintry as we've been in January. We've been well below average, guys. If you think this is going to continue, you could hope. Let's look at our since January 1st. Let's look at departure from normal temperature. Look at this. Look at this map. Look how cold we've been. This is well below average temperatures. And this is especially if we go back like 60 days, 2 months. Look at our east for 2 months. Well below average. If you guys think this pattern is going to continue for 3 months, again, You typically don't see a pattern like this hold for 2 months. I don't think it's going to hold for 3 months, and that's not just I don't think so. You know, it's we're seeing it. We're seeing a change in our teleconnections and a change in and the pathing of our jet stream. You know, this has been because we've had kind of a negative EPO, positive PNA type look with a lot of ridging out here, a lot of high pressures being built out here, dryness, heat, and we've really had a lot of our cold air being pulled into the east because of our jet. This is what happens when your jet stream sets up like this. You're going to have cold air out east and you have warm air out west. Again, there's a lot of consensus around us seeing, you know, more of this style of jet stream, not for the entire February, but as an average through February, where you could see colder, snowier conditions out here. And you know, potentially some severe weather out here, but a significant warm up. This isn't going to be all of February, I don't think, but at least to start it off. All right, let me get out of here. Let's get back to forecast loop. And I know someone's going to ask me, like, what about South Carolina now? I just showed you. All right. Let me adjust this real quick, chat. All right. Tiffany Dill, appreciate you. On January 29th, we could see mid 60 to 70 dews in southeastern Texas and Louisiana. Yep. The Euro has Minneapolis getting 12 inches early in February. That I'm skeptical of. Carlos, I'm not skeptical. I think Minneapolis is going to see. I think Minneapolis is going to see snow early February, maybe even a decent snow. So that I wouldn't be skeptical of. That I wouldn't be skeptical of. But yeah, maybe the totals. You should. I mean, who's going to believe snow totals a week and a half out when we can't even get snow totals correct sometimes? 3 to 4 days out, right? Of course, don't believe snow totals, but the snow pathing, I do think Minneapolis is going to get snow. Here we go with the spammers again. Good evening, y'all. What's up, Kendra? That spammer's probably going to come back in here. Sorry, guys. Over on YouTube, I have spammers. YouTube. It's crazy that I deal with more spamming on YouTube than I do on TikTok. When I don't know how many, not that many people in my YouTube stream, but I have like 50 times the amount of people in my TikTok stream. But YouTube just is, it's frustrating. Alrighty. What about Oregon and Washington? Yep, we're expecting it through the first couple of weeks of February, a cool down and some more wintry-like weather up here. Climate Prediction Center expects colder temperatures up here in the Pacific Northwest to start off February and more precipitation. So you'd expect that as snow. Yep. I know he does. I know he does it on other streams. Dude's a loser. How's North Carolina looking? Again, North Carolina's looking like probably a warm up. We're watching some severe weather as we move into February. Winter weather is going to probably move out for a little bit, but I don't know if your winter's quite over yet. Snow wise. Yara, I appreciate you. Yali. Okay. Yali, I'm trying. I made stickers today on TikTok. I don't know how to give people access to them, though. Because I'm just obviously a dummy when it comes to TikTok still. Is there any chance for snow in central Mississippi? We're so jealous over here. Not anytime soon, but we'll see what happens at the end of February. Yeah, I actually made stickers though, like from my clips. And I just don't know how to get people. I don't know how like where you should be able to see them when you're in my chat. I just don't know how to give access. I'll figure it out later on. I actually need Lake. She'll help me figure it out. Ashley, I appreciate you. 1 second, guys. 1 second. Claudia, how am I supposed to know you're in my live? There's 1,000 people in here. 1 second, guys. Give me 2 seconds. 2 seconds. My friend's sick. One second. Okay. Again, low elevation snow. Snow into the Puget Sound. Low elevation snow up in the Pacific Northwest. Your chances are going up in February. Pretty significantly. Robbie, I appreciate you. For anyone over on YouTube, can you just go report him too? Just make sure all his accounts get canceled. I mean, actually, I'll report him. There we go. Warm February for Texas. I think a warmer February for Texas. Yes, I do think of a warmer February for Texas. We can actually go look here. You guys want to see kind of what our seasonal outlook is here? Now, we can use this. This is our monthly mean sea level pressure. Typically, when you have a higher pressure like this red, you're going to be warmer. Blue, it's going to be colder. We can kind of use this as a sort of temperature outlook. Here we go. February. Some warmer air up the east. Some cooler air out west. Let's go into, here we go, seasonal anomalies. Look at this. Look at this here. This is what our Euro ensemble thinks for February, heat-wise. So, and this is better. This is better. This is literally a temperature map. So, this is kind of what the Climate Prediction Center. I mean, look at this compared to the Climate Prediction Center. You know, not too far off. So again, can you guys get a big cold blast down here in February? Get more southern snow? Can you get more snow up into the Mid-Atlantic, New England coast? You know, up through the Ohio Valley. I mean, you're going to get snow up through the Ohio Valley, but I'm talking about like Tennessee, Kentucky. You could in February. The outlook isn't favoring, isn't favoring it, but you're not going to be above average in this region the entire month of February. This is obviously expected to be average to below average up here. You're not going to be above average the entire month of February. This is an average of the whole month, but you're going to have big cool downs in February as well. And I think most of the big cool downs and potential for snowfall back in the east and through this region is going to happen more mid to late February. And you can see our precipitation outlook here as well. So there you go. A little bit drier. Look where it wants that precipitation. This is what we've been talking about. The Climate Prediction Center likes this region for above average precipitation in February. And our temperatures average to maybe slightly below average. Look at the Pacific Northwest up here, guys. Lots of precipitation expected in February. And when we compare that to our temperature outlook, obviously you could see enhanced snowfall up in that region and up through the northern plains and parts of the Midwest. All right, let's push this back. I know. I feel like I'm making people in the South and East mad. But you guys, if you're expecting another foot of snow in Louisiana, I hate to disappoint you. But hey, it could happen again this winter. I don't think it's going to happen over the next 2 to 3 weeks. Don't send the precipitation to us in Michigan. It's coming. It's coming, shop the hype. Will it get really cold again in Knoxville, and will it bring that snow? I don't think not in the near future. Faith, I appreciate you. Did I see a potential snowstorm early February in the Ohio Valley on one of these models you're showing? The GFS? Yeah. Guys, our 00Z GFS is loading right now. This is big. Big news. Let's watch it. I'll go back to we'll go to our 18Z for now. And the upcoming snow systems for upstate New York. You guys are going to have multiple clippers moving into upstate New York, and you're going to have very cold temperatures, so you could have some big snow accumulations from back-to-back clippers here. So not expecting a major big snowstorm or blizzard, but with very cold temperatures and multiple clipper systems moving through, that's going to be good accumulation on those clipper systems. Is there a snowstorm for Minneapolis, Minnesota? Potentially 2 or 3 in the first 2 weeks of February. Yeah. You have the atmospheric setup for multiple snowstorms to start off February in the first couple weeks in Minnesota. Not everyone in Minnesota is going to see snow. Well, maybe. Actually, maybe with this setup. But snow's not guaranteed. The atmospheric setup, the outlook for Minnesota snow, the first 2 weeks of February is very good. It's good. That doesn't guarantee it, but it is good. Just like the chance for southern snow in January was good. When I was talking about it at the end of December, I said January, our chances for southern snow are way up based on our setup moving into January. Same thing moving into February. Your chances for snow in parts of the Midwest and Northern Plains, Pacific Northwest are very, very good moving into the first couple weeks of February. Not everyone's going to get it. We had multiple snowstorms in the South. Not everyone in the South got snow. A lot of people did, though. How's Washington State for next weekend? Next weekend? Yeah, I mean, right now you guys want a big kind of bombing out low, sitting off the coast, throwing a bunch of snow and rain into you. So that could even be low elevation snow, potentially. Those temperatures could be cold enough. So definitely right now expecting a soaking, whether that be really cold rain or snow next weekend. Could be mostly snow. Did you upload your stickers through the creators tool? I created them and I tried to upload them, and I probably failed, but I'll figure it out after stream, I guess. Yeah, I'll figure it out. I just have so much going on. I'm on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok, and I'm multi-streaming right now, and I'm learning so much so quickly, but I haven't really cared about stickers until I've had a little bit of time recently, and I was like, oh, maybe I should make some, and I did make some, but I just got to figure out how to get them uploaded. All I see are the ones TikTok. Yeah. So yeah, like I made stickers, but I just got to get them uploaded the correct way. So yeah. Please follow all Connor channels. I like how you spelled my name, Konner. I like that. I like that spelling. I'm just messing with you. I agree with you. Follow all my channels. Let's see. Southeast Michigan, when and how much snow, Connor? Well, again, to start off February, the state of Michigan in general, in February, our Climate Prediction Center is expecting well above average precipitation. And you're going to expect some of that to be snow. February is a cold month for Michigan. So right now, in your immediate forecast, you have some clippers moving through. Big snow, your first big chance at a snow system might come in the first few days of February, but it's out of forecasting range right now. So, yeah, if you don't want snow in Michigan, this February, you might not like February. I heard we're going to get another cold spell at the beginning of February. Have you heard anything of it? Out west? You think out east? I mean, we're gonna have some more cold air. The north is gonna stay pretty cold. I think like a big cool down in the south isn't gonna happen in the beginning of February. Had to put my Max AirPods on to cancel my husband's snores. But how's severe weather looking? Well, again, we're watching severe weather down in the southeast. Late next week into next weekend, we could have a big severe weather outbreak. I showed it earlier. There's model consensus around a big, here it is happening on the map right now. There's model consensus of this, all models, as we push into next Friday, Saturday. So that's a big concern. Appreciate it, Jangles. Yeah. I got a mullet. With every Connor, I love you shop. tell it go away from Texarkana. It might be out to the east of you. Ashley said, "Oh, gracias. De nada." Is Washington getting snow? Washington's precipitation is expected to go through the roof in February, and a lot of that will be snow. Rochester, Minnesota for snow. Isn't that off to the south and west of Minneapolis? Yeah, Minnesota as a state looks great through the first couple of weeks of February. Your snow chances are supposed to go way up. I could get into why, but I've done it a few times, and I'm just trying to answer as many questions as I can. Just trust me. The northern plains are expected to get you guys have been cold, but the northern plains precipitation is expected to be on the increase, pushing into February. And you're going to stay cold. I want my mullet back, my old Camaro. Everyone's spelling my name Konner. Keaner. That's how I say it, Keaner. Should have known Greensboro wouldn't get shafted. You mean, for what? From the severe weather, Carolina? Did your years in South Florida with all the Cubans teach you Spanish? My Spanish isn't that great. Mi español es no bueno. I know a little bit of Spanish. Un poco. But yeah, I mean, I had half my friends growing up, more than half I would say like most of my friends growing up were like Hispanic. So in South Florida, Spanish. A lot of my friends spoke Spanish at home. So I'd go like hang out at their houses in middle school and high school, and they'd all be speaking Spanish. So I like picked up on a little from that. That's why you asked. Okay. Yeah, lots of Cubans down there, especially in Miami. Look at the new icon. Sure. New GFS is loading as well. Nothing really interesting on the new icon, other than it wanting to bring a little bit heavier of a band of snow into Ohio. Oh, that's the 18Z. That's why. Let's see. Ooh, that's a much bigger snow into northern mid-Atlantic New England. And yeah, I mean just a big soaking, some ice down here. Again, I want you guys to watch this. I know you guys see the snow and think it might come down here. Look at our isobar lines here. Okay, look at our here we go. Look at our 546 isobar line here. This is warm air pushing into cold air. That's why we see some ice. This little bowling ball solo trough right here that's punching a hole through the atmosphere, pulling cold air down to the surface, it's not going to stick around and continue to push out east. Well, I don't want to say not, but not very likely. This thing is likely from here going to shoot straight up. Again, I don't even think we're going to see ice and mixing down here. I don't even think that. I think this is going to take a northerly track. But we'll watch it for sure. That's an interesting run of the icon. Brings it a little bit farther south. Wants to bring that snow closer to Dallas. Still not buying snow into Dallas. But hey, we got our new GFS loading. What if our new GFS shows exactly what the icon showed? Maybe you guys will get close. I don't think it will though. I've been pretty right with the model updates lately, but I might be wrong here. We'll see. We're gonna watch it. Guys, I'm so close to 100K. Well, so close. I'm like 2,500 away. I appreciate the follows and subs. Snow in Oklahoma? Hey, that new icon wants snow in Oklahoma. Not out of the question. If you're going to get snow in Oklahoma, I'd expect it to be in western Oklahoma and in the finger. The little pointy part. That's where, again, we're watching this area for snow as this system that cuts down to the south moves up. This is kind of where we're watching. So it's going to be a little bit harder to get it down here. I don't think you're going to see it down there. Not out of the question though. This latest update from the GFS that we're on right now is going to tell us a lot. Charlotte wants snow. I know. I have like half my family and all my friends live in Charlotte. Trust me, I know they want snow. They've been letting me know. And I lived in Charlotte for 3 years. We got a decent amount of snow in 2021, 6 to 8 inches. Terry, Powell, Victor, Nora, Ripley, Faith, Shop, Robbie, Ashley, Yara. Did I miss all that? I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Albuquerque, New Mexico. Albuquerque, New Mexico looks to have a very, very fun week next week with snow. How much snow in Denver? You guys could get some snow in Denver next week too. I mean, The Euro, I'll show you the GFS because it's going to show us a little farther out. The Euro is not too far off of this. Now, this down here, are like we were talking about earlier, are we going to get 60, 70 inches down here? Probably not. I also think it's going to be tough to get low elevation snow in eastern Colorado because this is going to be the cold air is going to be in and around this low pressure system. It's going to be separated from our main troughing that's going to be kind of out here. So, but we'll see. Not out of the question that Denver could get some good snow. Or the plains of Colorado. Like I said, I really want to see what happens with this. I really want to see what happens with this new GFS. When it comes to this storm right here. That one right there. Texas Panhandle, yeah, it looks like you'll probably get on a little bit of snow. Maybe a lot, actually. Does it dig down into El Paso? I don't think so. You guys are still in the running though. Penny, I appreciate that. Did I see a potential snowstorm early February in the Ohio Valley? I think we talked about that, but yeah. What about Georgia? I heard maybe again. I don't know. No, I don't see any snow in Georgia's immediate future. I do see some severe weather in Georgia's future, though. We have to watch out for that. I'm not saying you're not going to get more snow. You could get more snow this winter into Georgia, but like to start off February, the first couple weeks of February, I think it's going to be tough, based on how our jet stream wants to set up. We missed some snow in North Iowa. Well, luckily for you, you guys are expected to have above average precipitation and about average temperatures in the month of February, and this is going to give you a good chance for some good storms. And the way our jet stream again really wants to set up for you guys, do portions of February like this. This is where your winter storms are going to ride. So again, Iowa, not a bad place to be if you want to see some good winter storms in February. How are we looking in Jersey? Again, I think we're going to have a little bit of a warm up and some more rain into February, but I don't think our winter's over yet. I think getting into the end of February to start March, I think we could see some significant winter storms out east. Who knows? Maybe a nor'easter. What's the time look like? Panhandle of Texas? Yeah, I mean, right now you can see on this GFS, it wants to bring that snow into the panhandle of Texas next Thursday. 6 days. But we need some more time to watch this progress. That's our 00Z GFS still loading. Need some more snow here in southern Indiana. Looks like possibility of the 8th to 9th. Listen, there's a possibility on the 8th and 9th that a asteroid hits planet Earth. There's a possibility on the 8th and 9th that, like, I win the Mega Millions. There's just as much possibility that I win the Mega Millions on the 8th and 9th as any weather forecasting or anything shows to happen on the 8th and 9th. That's way too far out. Way too far out. But I do think, not the cold air pattern, though, Danny. I do think the 8th and 9th, because it's in the first couple weeks of February, isn't a bad. It's not a. The atmospheric setup is good for snow into Indiana around some, not the 8th or 9th, but somewhere around that time frame. How our jet stream wants to set up, but yeah, like no one can tell where precipitation is going to fall that far out. But again, jet stream, cold air pattern, it doesn't look too bad for Indiana the first couple weeks of February. How bad will the severe weather be for Georgia? Too hard to tell, although right now it's looking pretty severe. But luckily, it's still over a week out, so there's plenty of time for that to change. Let's hope our models kind of downgrade that a little bit from what we're seeing. Our weather in Texas Panhandle is psycho at best. You want to know why? Do you guys know what a dry line is? Let me show you something here. There are different types of things that can create strong low pressures, strong severe weather events, a lot of instability in the atmosphere. One of them is cold and warm air clashing. Where does that happen a lot? Well, through this region. Well, I would change this. through this region. This is why you get some of your biggest tornadoes through here, Tornado Alley. Cold surface temperatures increase and decrease much faster than water temperatures. Your water out here helps to maintain your drastic temperature swings along the coast of the Atlantic and Pacific. But you can get crazy temperature swings in the middle of the country, in this region of the country, because you're so far away from both oceans. So we get a lot of cold air moving down from the north and a lot of warm air moving up from the Gulf constantly. And that's why you get a lot of disturbed air here. When you get cold, different temperature air boundaries clashing, you get a lot of disturbed air. This is why we get a lot of tornadoes in here. We get a lot of updrafts, warm air at the surface and cold air aloft is a recipe for tornadoes and severe weather. And that happens a lot in this area, including in the Panhandle, northern Texas. But what's very unique about this area of western Oklahoma and northern Texas here in the Panhandle is you got a desert right here feeding in dry air. And what's right here? Some of the warmest waters in the world. This is moist air. So what can also cause a lot of instability in the atmosphere is not just cold and warm air colliding, dry and moist air colliding. So you guys have your moist air here, dry air here, cold air here, your hot air here. This is just this region of the country. I mean, do you guys remember? And this extends obviously up north. Do you guys remember a few years ago in Denver, Colorado, it was like 86 degrees, and then the next day it was 20 degrees, and they had a foot of snow on the ground? It was like within 36 hours, and everyone was like, "How is this possible?" That's what happens when you're in the center of a continent. You have a desert to your southwest, and the warmest waters in the world to your southeast, and Canadian and Arctic air to your north. Yeah, the Panhandle of Texas is crazy. Panhandle of Texas, Oklahoma, Colorado, Kansas are geographically located in just an insane area. I'm new here. Welcome, Blitz. We get all seasons of weather within 36 hours. Yeah, and yes, you can. You can. You literally can. Yeah. Snow for North Carolina. Your chances are going to go down a little bit here to start off February, but I don't think your snow's done in North Carolina for the season. I think as we push into central to late February, we're going to see our chances increase back out east again. Slight New Jersey warm up, I think. Not immediately. We still have some troughing up in New Jersey for a while. You can see it here. But as we get into February, we've seen anything's a warm up from how cold it's been in New Jersey in January. As we get into February, we're expecting our temperatures to try to get back to around average out here on the East Coast, to slightly above average. Crazy how many people from Texas don't realize it snows in Texas. I know. Why doesn't North Carolina get much snow? Honestly, the mountains to your west. You know, why does the western PA get double the snow of eastern PA? Your Appalachian mountain range, a lot of times, will trap a lot of the cold air that wants to push through. We'll have a lot of cold air that's digging, and a lot of it will get trapped up in these mountains. And a lot of the precipitation sometimes will get trapped up here too. So that's an issue. Also, you have the Gulf Stream right here, a lot of warm waters that move right off the coast of North Carolina. This is a lot of warm moist air in here can help to, that level of the warmth moving off the ocean really tries to temper your temperatures. That's not how I want to say it. You know, it's hard to get below freezing when you have the Gulf Stream pumping in warm, moist air constantly into the east side of your country, and you have mountains out to the west trapping cold air. Your central, I mean, you're pretty much all of North Carolina. That's why you guys really. That's why Charlotte only averages 4 or 5 inches. Charlotte averages 6 inches of snow a year. Over the last 20 years, you've averaged 3. But yeah, it has to do with the warm Gulf Stream off to your east and the mountains off to your west. Yali, I appreciate that. Terry, thank you guys. Welcome to North Carolina, where you get all 4 seasons in one day. North Carolina can, but not as drastically. North Carolina does not have as drastic temperature swings as your Central Plains do out here. This region of the country, in the middle of the country, has the most drastic weather changes in the shortest period of time, because land heats and cools much quicker than the water does. And like I said, the closer you are to a big body of water like these oceans, the more that's going to regulate your temperature swings. Can't use my higher gifts because I can't reload my coins. Oh my god. Yeah, there's a bunch of issues with TikTok right now, right? What are the chances of that storm February 8th slamming into Ohio? The February 8th storm might not even happen. It's too far out to predict. Way too far out to predict, you know? Yeah, the end of this run, you guys shouldn't be looking at really anything past like this. I'm having this playing so you guys can see like what the latest GFS thinks or the 18Z thinks. But anything past here, this is all what we call la la land. A lot of things can change. Now, there is some model consensus on this event, which is a little bit farther out, 210. And since there's model consensus, we're kind of maybe trusting it to here. But, you know, forecasting range is typically 96 hours and under. Atlanta's probably going to warm up and deal with some severe weather pushing in February. That's kind of the thought. 1 second. What is going on with... Oh, guys, over on YouTube, my chat has been frozen for I don't know how long. So I apologize. I have not been answering your questions over there. My chat literally just unfroze. Oh my gosh. I've been like looking at my YouTube chat like, why is no one talking? And it's been frozen. Oh, that's frustrating. Someone say something in YouTube chat so I can see it move again. Oh my gosh, that is so... I was literally thinking. The GFS wants me to wake up to 52 degrees. Okay. Yeah, sorry guys over on YouTube. Oh my gosh. That's the first time that's happened where I've seen it freeze for that long. I literally finally was like, something's got to be wrong. And I closed the chat out and reopened it. Because I was like, no, there's no way no one's been saying anything that long on YouTube. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, that's so annoying. How far is that severe thunderstorm from Tennessee? It could go through Tennessee next week. We'll see. We still got to get into forecasting range and see how it wants to track. There's model consensus around it, though. GFS wants me to wake up to 52 degrees temps and have 60 degree temp. Wait, 52 degree temps and have 60 degree temps today? Wait. Indiana, I'm confused. I think the European model is way better. It typically is for cold air troughing and snow during the winter. My 10-day forecast in Ohio is upper 30s and 40s. Not looking too good. Yeah, you guys are going to be really, really close to that freezing boundary. You guys might end up with some ice and mixing. We'll see with these storms to start off February. How's Maryland looking snow-wise? I think Maryland's going to struggle through the first half of February. Peanut butter, nutter butter. Test. Hello. Snow in Houston again. Could it happen again this winter? Technically, yes. I wouldn't bet on it, though. You know? What's New Jersey getting? New Jersey's going to probably see a little bit more rainfall to start off February than snow. Although, you know, to end January, we got some Clipper systems that want to move through the region. Guys, let's take a look. Our latest GFS. Okay, still bringing this. Let's see. What was that? Is that at 110? 1 second, guys. Let's see what it wants to do here. Okay, we're getting really close to an update here. We need it to load a little bit longer. Tornadoes in February in Atlanta. Yeah, I'm worried about Dixie Alley to start off spring tornado season. I am. Late February into March. More March. Mid-March. I'm worried about Dixie Alley. But, you know, there's time. Nothing to worry about right now. With the outlook, I have concerns with potentially an above average severe weather tornado season through Dixie Alley in spring. We got plenty of time to see how things adjust, though. Here in Kingsville, Texas, we are getting back to 80 by mid next week. Yeah, I know. Cut, if you leave the stream on YouTube, then go back, it may help. No, yeah, I fixed it, Penny. Yeah, I literally had to close it and reopen it. It had frozen. It's working now. So my Knoxville, is PA getting that 2-2 storm? Maybe Western PA gets a little bit of snow from that, but it's out of forecasting range. You know, you see all this ice and rain. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have some moisture, some precipitation move through in the beginning of February. I think with this, just because we have so much model consensus around it. Is it more wintry? Is it more? I think it's gonna be more spring-like weather with that storm, more potential thunderstorms and stuff like that. Again, winter's not over out east. Winter's not over. So Knoxville forecast is in the mid 50s next week. Do you think we will get cold again? Yeah, you're not done with cold air this winter. Do you really think Northern Kentucky will most likely see rain in the beginning of February? Yeah, I think you're going to be on the rain/ice side of things. I do, unfortunately. But again, got a little bit of time. We're not in forecasting range. Still like quite outlook range, but it does look like you're going to be on what we would say is the southern side of the jet stream, which isn't great. What are your thoughts on Central Alabama? Central Alabama, like I said, I'm worried about warm up and some severe weather as we push into February. Getting into the end of February, just based on our teleconnection outlook right now, and our AO wanting to stay positive as we push through February, it's gonna break again. Our polar vortex. I think the end of February we could see another shift back to the east and to the south for some cold wintry weather. So, I also think we'll have an active March in Dixie. Yeah, Indiana, I do think we will. Double crap. I hate tornadoes. Sorry, Kendra. Like I said, it's not for sure. Luckily, we're not like, oh, it's gonna be a crazy tornado season in Dixie Alley. It's like it looks like it more likely will than not. But I'm like a 6 out of 10 confident on it. You know, 60 to 70%. But there's still part of me that, you know, we could underperform in spring tornado season. I hope we do, but it just looks like we may overperform. I'm gonna head out. Have a good one, Eric. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here to help. You're awesome. Seriously, I really appreciate you. TikTok is not letting me subscribe to you. I know. If you delete the app, you can't re-download it. Subs aren't allowed to renew. You're not allowed to subscribe again. There's just so many issues with it right now. There's so many issues with TikTok. I appreciate the thought, though. It says cannot connect to Apple servers. Yep. It does have something to do with the ban, Andrew. There's whispers that this is all getting fixed, that you'll be able to re-download it on your phone soon. You'll be able to resub to people on TikTok, and all this is going to be fixed back to how it was. But until a deal's done, it's going to be up in the air. It sucks. What are the newest updates and hope for snow in Long Island? Again, I don't think starting off February is going to be a great snow outlook for Long Island. I do think as we push into the end of February into March, we may get something back into that region. I really do. Can we get a 2021 repeat winter storm that stretches from Texas through the Ohio Valley? We could. End of February. We could. Thinking Wisconsin will mostly be snow in the beginning of February. I think Wisconsin's in a pretty good spot to see some good snow to start off February. I do. Should I move somewhere there are no tornadoes? Yeah, move to like North Dakota. Then you only have to deal with negative 50-degree weather. But they like rarely get tornadoes. Let's see here. You know, California had the first tornado of the year of 2025. The first tornado of the year was in California. California barely gets any tornadoes, which is what's funny. It gets almost no tornadoes. That's where the first one of the year was, though. No thank you to negative weather, right? So Georgia could be severe early February. I think so. I think we might cool down the end of February, though. Andrea, I appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate the follows and subs, guys. I see you. Thank you, guys. Will it possibly snow again in, did that say southern Louisiana? Oh, in February in Louisiana? If it's it's not going to be to start off the month. It's going to be to end the month. But again, that's a really hard take to give you an answer to. A really hard question to give you an answer to. Connecticut looks like it's probably going to struggle with snow a little bit in the first half of February. KY loves cake. What's that? Like, Kyle loves cake. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. Thank you. I've had a really good. I know when I have misses and when I have wins with forecasting. December, January have been pretty good for me so far. So I'm hoping to continue that through February, and I'm pretty confident with, again, snowback. I've been saying it since the beginning of January. Snowback, really the second week of January. Snowback in the Northern Plains, Midwest, Pacific Northwest. The areas that I'd been talking about weeks ago, getting into February, that I was thinking for more snow was this region and then potentially this region. I think really this is going to be the Pacific Northwest. Although next week, literally, or not even next week, in the next 5-6 days, it's really next week, we're projecting major snowfall down here. So that's going to be interesting. What's our latest GFS say? Is it loaded enough? Here we go. And look, nothing. It's gone, guys. It gone. Let's see. Let's see here. 162. Wow. Hold up here. The GFS just delete it. The GFS guys just deleted 60 inches of snow in one model run. I don't know if I've ever seen that. Can I show you? Let me show you this. Let me show you what the GFS just did. Ready? Here's the last model run of the GFS. Look at 60 inches of snow in New Mexico. And you ready for the new model run? And again, what does this do to your snow chances in Dallas? It erases them. I expected the updated GFS to erase your snow chances in Dallas. I didn't expect it to erase your snow chances in New Mexico. I still think you're going to get snow into farther south into New Mexico. I think the GFS is wrong on New Mexico, but I think the GFS is correct to pull it out of this region. I think it's wrong. I think it does come back down. I think it does come into New Mexico and shoot up north. But, wow. It just deleted 60 inches of snow after a 6-hour update. Oh, wow. I know. I need a sticker that says that too. What's the Euro snow? I'll show you the Euro snow on that. That's why I'm not sold. The Euro likes this snow. Some good snow into New Mexico still. And this is where the Euro ends on the 18Z. It likes it a little farther south. So, but the Euro never thought we were going to get snow into this region like the GFS thought. So yeah, the GFS just deleted 60 inches of snow in one model update. That is wild. But do you guys remember what I was telling you? What's interesting about this system that's bringing this snowfall? Remember what I told you earlier in the stream? This is not part of a troughing event. When you see guys, these blue lines up here. You see all these blue lines? All these blue lines. This is a trough up here. This is cold air being pulled down from the Arctic up here. This is cold air. This is warmer air. This is ridging out here. So why do we have 60 inches of snow falling inside of what we would call a ridge? Because a ridge is associated with warmer air above freezing air. Because they were expecting this low pressure to be so strong that it could, and this can happen, it can produce its own cold air separate from your troughing event. And the Euro, I think, is still going to see that. The Canadian's still going to see that. But you need a very, very strong low pressure system to dump a lot of snowfall in an area that's that's not attached, that's disassociated with your troughing event. Usually your snow is going to be over here with your troughing. And so I've been talking about that. The latest GFS doesn't think doesn't give us that significant of a low pressure. Although we're 150 hours out now, and maybe it does. Maybe I jumped the gun. I don't think so though. It actually does pull it in a little bit later. Maybe it doesn't delete all the snow. We can still see it here about 150 hours out. Well, a little bit. It might still pull it in. We'll see. We'll watch it update. It might just kick it into gear a little bit later than it originally expected it to. because you can see the snowfall here on the 18Z moving in at about 130 hours out, and we don't see that really at all on our updated GFS. At all. Okay. We'll see how that progresses. Good evening, Tad. What's the outlook on Iowa the next 2 weeks? As we push into February, DJ, we expect Iowa to, your snow chances to increase significantly. We do. I would say, and cold air, but you guys have been cold for most of winter. This, why we got snow in New Orleans? No, that snow event was attached to a major Arctic blast trough. You had crazy polar air plunging with that and a low pressure coming off the Gulf. Perfect situation. That's a more normal way to see snow. These super strong low pressures that produce their own cold air is a much more rare event. So the GFS is bringing the snow back in, but much later than originally than on the last Euro model. So maybe it still gives you a chance down here in Texas. It's pushed your time frame back. That's why it wasn't showing earlier in the update. Right here, where it showed during this time frame where it showed snow on your last GFS, it doesn't have this system forming until later on. So that's interesting. It's quite a pushback for one model update. You are refreshing live from the other drive. What? Give us some good news for Ohio. Ohio's going to be tough. We're going to have a lot of systems moving up into the Midwest. Ohio, especially central to eastern Ohio, maybe on a lot of these rainfall and ice sides with temperatures. Needy one said, I don't know why they would believe any of this. They can barely tell us what's happening to prior. All right. 10 days before each of the last two snowstorms, we were talking about them, the southern snowstorms. I said, you go scroll through my TikTok, Needy one, since you know everything. Go scroll through my TikTok. Go scroll through my videos at the end of December and look at what I said was going to happen in January. Go look at my outlook for January. Something about being well below average out east and the potential for 2 southern snowstorms. Thank you for being in my live and being rude though. It helps my algorithm. You can literally scroll down my TikTok into the end of December and watch my videos. And yes, you're correct. No meteorologist, no person on planet Earth can perfectly predict the future, even with good data. That is also correct. Yes, you would need the powers of God for that. So, but what we do is we take data from weather balloons and satellites and radars, and we apply it, and we apply our knowledge and give the best possible projection we can. That is why we were talking about potential snow into Gulf states almost 2 weeks before it happened. Would we typically be talking about snow in New Orleans almost 2 weeks before it happened if we didn't have data to support it? It didn't mean it was going to happen, but it meant there was a signal there. So I know that's hard to understand, but that's why meteorology is a profession. Okay. When's the next snowstorm for Oklahoma? Again, potentially not too far away. The new GFS is bringing this snowstorm in. It's just bringing it in later. See this here? This is still a very weird look. You have your trough out here up into the northeast. This is literally just a low pressure. This is producing its own cold air out here. Very, very interesting look. It's going to be really hard. I want to see what the Euro says at the 00Z, but that could potentially be some Oklahoma snow. GFS global fantasy model. Sometimes it feels like that. Except for during hurricane season, the GFS does really good in the subtropics and tropics. The GFS sometimes can be a fantasy model over winter. It's getting better, though. The new model put more into Wisconsin. Oh, the new GFS. It did. Wait, are we at, let's go to our 00Z. It does want that snow into El Paso as well on the new one. And the new GFS does, yeah, I mean, it really enhances some of these clipper systems here as well. This is an interesting event happening for the Mid-Atlantic, actually, to end January still. Right here. We can watch this at the end of January. This is there's one more kind of negative EPO event that's happening, and we were talking about this a few streams ago, guys. Remember, I think I had said between like the 26th and the 28th, or 26th and the 29th. So the models have been seeing this kind of troughing plunge here for a while. If this thing can amplify a little bit more, who knows? Maybe we get some snow back into Virginia and the DMV and Mid-Atlantic. That's an interesting update there with that. It does amplify that trough somewhat. So that's interesting. Appreciate the follows and subs, guys. Thank you. Thank you, Heather. Thank you, Patriot. Thank you, Mika. You're the only person besides Matt that I trust with forecast because everybody else is insane. Not everyone else is insane, but I appreciate that, Kendra. What do you think the best short-range severe weather model is? The HRRR should be our best short-range model, but sometimes the GFS does really good with severe weather, even in the short range. That's what it's better at. Which model is better for severe weather? Yeah, I mean, global model GFS I think is pretty good with severe weather. And our HRRR should be the best short range. It just should be with that type of weather. Last week when my main account went down, when the app went dark, you called this 100%. Patriot, I appreciate that. I'm curious to know if people from the U.S. are still able to sub because I can't auto renew still. Yeah, no one can. Everyone's struggling. Everyone's struggling with that, Yali. It sucks. It sucks. Do the weather apps on phones not use this software? It's weird. They just pull from different models throughout the day. That's why they're constantly changing. It makes no sense. They should be following some sort of ensemble is what they should be doing. They should just take the Euro ensemble over winter and take the GFS ensemble over summer is what they should do. Or in one half of the season and the other half of the season. The warmer half of the season, GFS, and the colder half, the Euro. Next big snow for Pennsylvania. Again, this update here is looking interesting with this event out here at the end of January. Maybe we'll end our January with a bang out here in the Mid-Atlantic in Pennsylvania. We'll see what the Euro says tonight. This snow down here is just is so strange because we're not attached to a trough. Let's take a look at our temperatures while this is happening. Do you guys see this? Do you see what I mean when I say it's producing its own cold air? Look at this air here. And then we're 50 degrees down here. We're almost 50 degrees right here. We're 60 degrees right here. But we're in our 20s in the middle of all that. It's very, very strange. It's very, very strange. This stuff can happen, though. This stuff can happen. By the way, the only reason this stuff here is cold is because it's the mountains. Well, let me show you. You'll be able to see this on the temperature anomaly, how strange this is on the temperature anomaly. Watch this. Okay. I mean, this is just strange how this thing wants to move in. You see how you're warm down here, and then you're warm down there in Texas, and then you just get a big boom, just like that. Just like that. And that cold air is not moving in from a trough. That's not cold air plunging to the south like it typically would. You're getting moisture moving up here. You're getting some air boundaries clashing here, and you're getting some you're getting a steep low pressure forming. That's just exploding cold air onto the scene. I'm not sold on this. The GFS wanting temperatures 30 degrees below average through the entire state of Texas, unassociated with a cold air trough. I'm not sold on it. I've seen weirder things happen. I've seen stuff like this happen before, but I'm not sold on it yet. I'd like to see what the Euro says tonight. If the Euro sees this look, We'll take it seriously. I'm not going to take it seriously yet. You know, it's like, don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. I'm very suspicious about that. It's a very interesting setup. Did I see Julie? Julie, what's going on? Uncle Frankie, Andrea. Appreciate you guys. I'm not going to lie. I'm waiting for you to tell me if it's going to snow in Atlanta, even if it comes in March. I'll let you know. I'll let you know if snow is going to come to Atlanta. Hi, Julie. We're only about 72 hours away from the Bills making the Super Bowl. Hopefully you can get monetized on YouTube since subs on TikTok are not working. I'm trying to get monetized on YouTube. I'm trying. I'm a third of the way to the watch hours I need. I have like 1,500 watch hours on YouTube, and you need 4,000 to get monetized. But I literally created my YouTube channel like a month ago, so I can't complain. It's going really well. People have been great on YouTube. The following's going, and I upload there every single day. I'm streaming obviously I'm streaming on YouTube, right? I stream every day on YouTube as well, so. We're trying. But you guys, I appreciate everyone who has been here with me. Will another snowstorm come through the south? Potentially. I don't think it's going to be, well, listen. I'll wait to talk on this when I see the Euro tonight. Because obviously the GFS is doing some crazy stuff in this new 00Z. With this southern storm. I mean, it still doesn't want snow. It still doesn't want snow into Dallas, but it's just putting a ton of snow down here into. It almost wants to get it into central Texas. So, again, very very suspicious setup. I just hard for me to believe. Any person looking at this type of event, this is a very hard outcome to see that detached from you. Look, you can literally see where your trough is. Here it is. Here's all the snow. That's normal. That's a normal event. Those are clippers associated with very cold air. This is a snowstorm down here that's completely detached from that because it's producing its own cold air, so it can. But to be dropping widespread 2 feet of snow here, we'll see. We'll see what the Euro says tonight. I'm okay with being wrong in this situation. I don't think I am wrong, but I'm okay with being wrong because that would be a very, very, very cool storm for New Mexico and portions of Texas if this were to unfold like that. Not again. The roads just open in Baton Rouge. That would not be a storm for you guys. Any snow chance in Chicago? Yeah, your snow chances go way up in February, especially the first half. I really do like YouTube as well. Yeah, I really do. And I don't have to have anxiety about it being banned every other week. What's the Canada model say? Well, the Canada model is not the best, but we do have an updated Canadian model, so we'll take a look at it. Canadian model still likes to snow, but again, I can agree with where this is setting up our snow a little bit better. This is kind of what the Euro's been talking about. So this is our latest Canadian. So there's consensus on this storm down here, but I like the consensus through here. The GFS now is suddenly saying through here we're gonna get a ton of snow. I find that hard to believe, but we'll know if the European suddenly shifts to look like the GFS. I will let you guys know at 1 a.m. on my story on TikTok. Is Florida gonna see any more snow? Probably not. Probably not. That's a once every couple decades type of thing. So if you think it's going to happen twice in a winter, it could, but the odds obviously are extremely, extremely low. It was a perfect set of events. You had a negative AO, a big polar jet slowdown, so a big polar jet break in one of the coldest week historically on average for the Northern Hemisphere. And at the same time, you had a strong Gulf low forming, pushing some moisture into that big polar jet dip. So it was no pun intended, the perfect storm of events. And one of those things you needed was it happening in January, which is when you can really get those below freezing temperatures down to the Gulf because of the tilt of our planet at the end of January. I have some family in Utica, and I always tell them send some, right? Have you ever thought about streaming on Twitch? Oh, and here's my problem. I'm streaming on YouTube. I'm streaming on TikTok. I'm posting my videos to YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I'm like, and I'm one person. So I'm like, and I have a full-time job outside of this. So it's not, I would love, if I was doing just this, which that's the goal one day, is to just be doing weather and not have my other job, but I need to build my subscribers and monetization and stuff to be able to do that, but I'm getting closer. So shout out to anyone who's followed or subbed. But if I was just doing this, I 100% would be streaming on Twitch as well. So I will expand once I, have more time. Guess where it's been snowing all day? Buffalo? Hey, do you guys play that game up in Buffalo, Julie, where if you're holding your drink in your right hand and someone calls Buffalo, you have to finish it? My cousins from Rochester, New York, taught me that game, and I played it all through college. Always have to hold your drink in your left hand, because when you introduce yourself to someone, you shake you shake their hand with your right hand, so you got to keep it open and dry. That's what they said. So if they buffaloed you and you had a drink in your right hand, you had to finish it. You need more mods, dude. Well, I had mods over on I had a mod over on YouTube here for a while, but he just left. Oh, you've never heard of that? That's so funny. It's literally named after the state. Everyone at like Florida colleges would play Buffalo when I was in college down in Florida. They and then it's like that's funny. And they did it in Rochester as well, and some other areas. Well, some other areas in New York as well. Buffalo, I played that game in Bolivia, in South America. See, people are playing Buffalo in South America, but you don't know about it in Buffalo? Come on. I think it's like a, I don't know. I learned that when I was real young. Is Pivotal Weather an app like Radar Omega? No, actually they might have an app. I've never even looked. I always use their website. Actually, I don't. That's a good question. We were too buried in snow to play games. Yeah, right. Heard record snow in Louisiana and Florida. They did just get record snow, yeah. Next big snow in Pennsylvania. Again, the latest GFS really likes... the latest GFS is amplifying this trough at the end of January for us. That could give us an interesting look at this right here. We'll see what happens with this. As we push into the end of next week. If this trough amplifies, digs a little bit farther south, you could have a tilting trough here. You could get big snow through the mid-Atlantic and Pennsylvania. So that's something we're watching. It's a possibility to end January. They do not have an app? Okay, good to know. I was like, I feel like I would know if they had an app. I don't know why they don't. Why not make an app and just charge for it? Everyone likes Pivotal Weather. Does he only answer subs? I just want to know if Washington is going to get snow. No, there's 1,200 people in here and I'm one person. So if I didn't answer you, it's not because you're not a sub. It's just because I'm trying my best and I'm just not able to answer everyone's questions. I do try to answer my subs as much as I can though, but I answer people who aren't subs as well. What other apps do you use other than Radar Omega? And I didn't see your answer. I just saw that. I mean, your question. What other apps do you use other than Radar Omega? I don't really use any apps. I mean, AccuWeather is a pretty good app, I think. But thoughts on ice in Western North Carolina? Too early to tell if we're gonna have an ice storm in Western North Carolina. There's some obviously some looks at it in the latest GFS. Cold front. Will Dallas get snow? The GFS thinks it might, but most other models don't. Is it snowing in Dallas, Texas? Yeah, people in Dallas are. Who's telling all you it's going to snow? It's not impossible, but the outlook, the forecast for it isn't great. I'm on the Cape, and nice ass. Nice hat. I said ass. Nice hat. I read one of the messages above it. We getting any more snow? I would probably have to wait until halfway through February, towards the end of February. Chances of the snowstorm on the 8th in Iowa. I think DJ, I already answered that. If you see precipitous snow, 2 weeks out on a future radar, the odds of it happening are almost zero. You're going to have a good atmospheric setup for snow in Iowa in the beginning of February, so it could, but all this, we call this La La Land. Like, all this out here is unpredictable, precipitation-wise. Not troughing-wise, cold air-wise. I know it's extremely far out, but how much snow are models predicting for snow? Where, Nino? Snow NATO. That would be interesting. I don't know if there's ever been a snow NATO. Because you need some warm air down at the surface. Yeah, it's snow NATO. Well, you could have a bunch of snow on the ground and then a severe weather event, warm air push in after. I'll YouTube it later. That would be cool. Minnesota getting any snow? Your outlook for snow in the northern plains and out pushing through Minnesota and Wisconsin is much better the first couple weeks of February. Yes, I think Minnesota will get some good snow in February, especially in the first half. There's a big snowstorm slamming into Ireland tomorrow. I haven't been looking. Another continent too much recently. Ooh, yeah, maybe. Yeah, look at that. That looks to be. Oh, wow. Some significant troughing. Some big. Wow. Oh, wow. What an active weather pattern over the next week and a half for Europe. Wow. I might have to. Wow. Look at this. Look at these isobars, too. Okay. I'm going to have to cover this in a video tomorrow, I think. I did not know this was going on. Thank you for whoever called that out. Look at that. 944 low. 948 low, 945 low. Some very significant troughing throughout the entire continent. Look at this. Wow. Oh my gosh. Look at this troughing. Holy crap. That's interesting. Okay, I don't know enough about what's going on. I need to look at that tomorrow when I wake up and talk about it. I'll put a video on that tomorrow. That's crazy. Looks like the low pressure system's setting up to have a repeat for Louisiana and the rest of the Southeast. I do not think so, Ariel, but I guess it's possible. There was the Snowmageddon in Dallas 2021. Oh, yeah. With no electricity. Was that a Snowmageddon, Yali, or was that just a cold? I thought 2021 was more of a just cold weather event. It wasn't like a massive amounts of snow that fell in Texas. Houston, about 3 to 4 inches. I mean, that's good snow. That's not a lot of snow for most other places. I guess that's a lot of snow for Houston. 3 to 4 inches of snow. We just got 4 inches of snow up here in where I live, north of Philly, and everyone was like, "God, we never get any snow." That was nothing. That's a lot for Houston, though. Texarkana, maybe you got more than Houston. You probably did. You're up to the Northeast. You probably did. Will Florida get any snow this year? Yes, Florida's 100% getting snow this year, and I can say that because they already got it. Any more snow? Probably not. Probably not. Is there a way for us to give you donations on YouTube? Well, once I get monetized on YouTube, there'll be actually a link set up. But yeah, I've had people tell me like I've had like people in the weather world who do this type of stuff too, been tell me to add like my Cash App or whatever link in the description, and I might do that. But I don't want anyone to ever think that like I need donations. But it's very, very kind of you. I've thought about adding it in there. It helps because I spent a lot of time doing this, and I want to be able to do this full time. So. But the goal is for me to get, I'm getting closer and closer to getting monetized over on YouTube, and I'm pushing for that so that I won't have to worry about, asking people to send money to my PayPal or anything like If for me, it feels weird. I don't want to like imply that anyone has to donate, but if anyone does, it's very kind. So I might add that in the future. I know a lot of different weather creators all have like their PayPal link or their Cash App link. I see it and I'm like, I guess people do it. New York snow. Upstate New York looks to get a decent amount of snow over the next week or two. or over the next really 10 days, just based on the amount of clippers moving through and how cold your air is. It's going to be a good snow ratio. Next, live and keeping a tally on how many times you say wow or oh wow. You should. I want to know. What is going on, Matt? Just got off stream. I'm going to go a little bit longer here. Matt, I got a question for you. Obviously, we've been talking about this stream, this major crazy snowstorm that the GFS obviously is detached from our main trough, is detached from our main cold air event that's happening out here. We've got a system here kind of producing its own cold air, punching cold air down through the stratosphere. It's hard for me with this type of event. Too many kids in chat tonight? Yeah, I know. Oh, I gotta block this person who's spamming Morrison. Sorry guys. It's hard for me to believe the GFS on the 1 to 2 feet of snow widespread through this region, especially the low elevation, with an event that's completely detached from our from troughing. I mean, you can get a low pressure producing its own cold air separate from your main troughing event, but 2 feet of snow through this region while you've got 50s here, and 50s here. I don't know. I want to see the Euro tonight. That system next week doesn't impress me right now. Yeah, it's not. Again, and the Canadian and Euro want to keep the snow farther up north. They don't want this down here, and I think that would be more correct if anything. Sorry if you answered this several times, but any snow in Seattle in February? I think it's possible. You're expected to have below average temperatures and above average moisture. You could finally see some of that low elevation snow start off in the first couple of weeks of February. It's the outlook's not too bad for you. You agree? Of course you do, Matt. We're on the same page. If the Euro, I swear to God, if the Euro comes out, the 00Z, and it shows 2 feet of snow through central Texas, I will... I was going to say I'll delete my TikTok page, but I'm 99% sure it won't. But I'd have to be 100% to say that. I think maybe there's a 1% chance the Euro goes crazy on it. I'm telling you, this troughing pattern makes me nervous for March, dude. 100%. 100%. It does. It does. There's also and speaking of just to start February, there's even better model consensus on this now too. This event right here, Matt. So buckle up for this storm early February. You've got three globals that agree, four globals that agree on that, which is weird because they can't agree on what's going to happen really before it. Yeah, I know you're ready. You might actually do a 36-hour stream for that. Don't delete your TikTok. You won't be able to download it back up. That's true. Snow coming to Virginia soon. You know, again, our latest GFS, which I want to see our Euro. Not a big fan of GFS in the mid-latitudes for winter, but has brought this troughing a little bit more amplified troughing here, digging it down a little bit farther to the south. We'll see. I don't expect this to trend farther south, but you can see we're going to have the cold air available here. So the end of January, could we get some snow into Virginia again? Not out of the question. These are our actual temperatures, not wind chills. You're gonna get well below freezing for a few days there. We need some moisture available out ahead of that system, out ahead of this system down there. So we'll see. It's not out of the question. You could see some snow from that event in Virginia at the end of January. But I wouldn't say your chances are fantastic. No problem. Thinking the spring could be a big severe weather season for Dixie Alley. It could be, Nash. For everyone. It could be. Especially, probably Dixie, yeah. Think we may see snow down in Pensacola, Florida again. We just got 9 inches on Tuesday. Oh, I know you got 9 inches on Tuesday because it's the only thing that's on TikTok right now. I know. I've seen so many TikToks that they're like in the snow and they're like, hey guys, where do you think I am? Montana? Where do you think I am? Maine? Where do you think I am? Canada? And I'm like, no, I know you're in Florida because there's been 1,000 TikToks that have done this. No, I will take the first high risk. Yeah, guys. Ooh, spring severe weather season is going to be interesting. I shouldn't say that with a smile on my face. But listen, Pensacola, you guys just set like an all-time forever record. You guys haven't seen snow in you guys get snow in Pensacola once every 2 decades. I love the thought that it's going to happen again this winter, but you got to recognize the odds are like less than 0.1% that you get more snow into Florida this winter. Sally, I think we're going to break some more records this year, Mezzo said. Mezzo Matt. Yeah. Yep. Definitely the possibility of that. I agree. La Nina got so much snow, too. It was insane. Oh, L.A. I thought it's La Nina. Louisiana. I hate when people call Louisiana L.A. because I constantly think Southern California. But I know everyone calls it L.A. It did. I think the highest snow total in Louisiana was 13.5. The average through southern Louisiana was 5 to 7 inches, but then you saw areas over a few areas over a foot that way overperformed from some banding. Any hope for snow in West Texas? Well, if you believe the latest GFS, yeah. It wants a ton of snow into West Texas. Let's look at our European ensemble probability of snowfall for you guys, everyone that you know. Matt, I've been having a ton of people in chat over and over again talk about how they're being told that they're going to get snow in Dallas next week. And I just don't think it's going to happen. It's not completely impossible. I just don't think it's going to happen. Can you name some of the parishes in Louisiana for me? I'm curious. No. I can't. I cannot. All right. Probability of an inch or more of snow. Let's look at the 12Z. Our 12Z Euro ensemble gives Dallas a 0% chance of seeing an inch or more of snow. Now, our GFS might shift some of that, though. Our GFS might think differently. What does our GFS think? Even our GFS gives you a 0% chance. Maybe a 0 to 10% chance. Ensemble. What about our Canadian? Our Canadian's pretty bullish. No chance. I understand what people are talking about, though. I mean, there's some models that want to shift this over here, but it's just not looking great. Northern Texas, though, you can see a lot of these models will do want to bring that snow into northern Texas. I don't think that's a crazy call at all. You can see that up there. Pretty high chances, really, on all these models. See what I'm saying? So, I do want to do a sub-only chat for a little bit on TikTok. I do want to do a sub-only chat for a little bit. How long have I been streaming for? God, time flies when you're having fun, guys. 2 hours. Spider, what's going on? Miss MJ, I appreciate you. Michelle's, I appreciate you. Can you tell me how did you grow your YouTube channel? Honestly, I grew my TikTok, and then when they were going to ban it, I was like, guys, can you follow me on YouTube? YouTube is hard to grow. I've been uploading to YouTube constantly every day, though, for a few months. And I started multi-streaming on YouTube even before I thought TikTok was going to be banned, which helps. The streaming helps. I should, right? Here you go. Check GFS February 4th. Arctic blast incoming. Let's see. Oh, out west. Let's see. Do we have any sort of consensus on this? Oh, right here. Are you talking about this, Matt? No problem. I appreciate you. Oh, this right here, Matt. Are we looking? I mean, I need to see the other models real quick. All right, let's see. Let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at our euro. There's a heavy disagreement from our euro. We'll see if our 00Z starts to see that look. Yeah, we need more models. I want to see because you can see the euro wanting to do it going into the fourth, but then it pulls away right here. It wants to really dive, but then it doesn't really get that far south. What's our Canadian looking like around the fourth as well? Pretty cold. Wow, look at that. That'd be some cold air through here. Just trying to find exciting stuff to talk about. Yeah. I'm a big sucker for our teleconnections around that time though. Let's look at our P&A. Let's look at our European ensemble P&A around that time frame. Pretty negative. Nothing crazy though. What's our Arctic oscillation? Our Arctic air is going to be piling up there. That's why I'm worried for the end of February and March. Because this thing is probably going to stay positive for a while. Our AO. All right, let me get back to chat. 1 second. Here's our latest 00Z. That would be a crazy, crazy Arctic plunge for the West if our European starts to agree with that. Oops, let me get back into our GFS. That would be, look at that. I mean, look at this, guys. This would be a significant event that would be moving east. Is the new run looking more favorable for snow in Ohio? And I don't think it's really changed much for snow in Ohio. Almost maybe a little bit less favorable for snow in Ohio, if I'm being honest. Let me see. Can we donate to you on any social media apps? Yeah, I mean TikTok, because TikTok allows you to gift while you're streaming. I appreciate that, Brian. I'll add my Cash App or PayPal down into my description on YouTube in case anyone wants to. But no one has to. But yeah, it is appreciated. Is there going to be a day with no snow in Buffalo? Nope. Sorry, Julie. No. God, the thing is, you're supposed to see above average precipitation. Again, this isn't a great outlook for you if you don't want to get snow into Buffalo in February. This is going to end up being an extremely, extremely snowy winter in Buffalo. It already is, but I don't see it pulling back anytime soon. I do think your temperatures are. You're probably going to start really be done with your lake effect, but your temperatures are increasing a little bit. You're not going to get as good ratio of snow moving forward in February, but you're still your precipitation chances or your precipitation outlook is still pretty high in February in Buffalo. I'll take the and fix it. What is it? When's the Euro update? The Euro update's still like 30 minutes away. If we saw high risk this year, could it be in Dixie? I think it probably would be in Dixie. Tough call. It's legit everyday snowing. Insane. I wish I lived there. Guys, I'm going to go and do sub-only chat on TikTok just for a little bit here. And so I'm going to get off the stream. Anyone, I appreciate the follows and the subs. I'm getting close to that 100K mark on TikTok. I've been working hard to get that. But you guys are awesome. Anyone who's gifted, anyone who's just been here engaged, you guys are awesome. Thank you for being in here. I'm going to get off the stream. I'm going to post probably at least 2 videos tomorrow. I want to talk about what's going on over in Europe and talk about what our Euro update is going to say tomorrow, because who knows? If it agrees with the GFS, that would be crazy for Texas. But I'm going to go over to sub-only chat on TikTok for a little bit, and I'll be back on tomorrow. Yeah, go Bills. Alrighty. Happy Friday.